Hello students, Namaste. I am PPY and you are watching PPY tutorial. And today we are going to study about a brand new topic, that is operational amplifier. And this is very important topics for bachelor level and master's level electronics. In bachelor level also you have to study this in detail, and master's level the almost 25% course is about the operational amplifier only. And so I hope you all will pay proper attention to each and every steps which we discuss in this video, and you will enjoy this lesson like before. So without getting too much in discussion about the introduction part, let's get started into the main topics, today's topic, that is operational amplifier. Okay, and so today's our topic is operational amplifier. Now onwards we can tell this in shortcut op amp. This is popular with this name of operational amplifier as a op amp. Okay, and so operational amplifier, first introduction part. Introduction. This is direct coupled. This is direct coupled amplifier. What is direct couple means? There is different methods of coupling, but in this operational amplifier we directly couple the two stages through the resistor. So it is called the direct coupled amplifier, and this is widely used in variety of application in the electronics device. And its name is operational amplifier. So this name comes from because it can do mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, differentiation, integration, etc. So as in the beginning it was made to perform the mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, differentiation, integration, like this, and so its name only came the operational amplifier. And before making the digital computers like today's computer which we are getting, there was analog computer before. So it's a major part of the analog computer. So this is in the beginning, it was made for the arithmetic operations in analog computer, and so its name is the operational amplifier. And this has so many great features in this, and that feature is, one of the important feature you notice that it can even amplify the DC. Other amplifier which we have learned, CE, CC, CB, those were the AC amplifier. That means we give the signal and that signal was amplified. But in this case we can amplify the DC voltage also. So this is the very important optional amplifier part of the electronics. Okay, and so what should be the characteristic of the ideal operational amplifier? Ideal operational amplifier means actually we are not getting this any of the ideal cases in the real life, but still we study and see if this ideal amplifier, then we do have these features, and these features are infinite open loop gain. This we have to remember these points. Second, it has infinite input impedance. Likewise, it has zero output impedance. Fourth number, zero offset voltage or current. Likewise, infinite bandwidth, and infinite CMRR. This is common mode rejection ratio. These are all topics we have to discuss later in the detail. But in the beginning only I told you that if you have the operational amplifier which is ideal, then we must have these characteristics. The first one is the infinite open loop gain. What does it mean? If we are not connecting any feedback in the operational amplifier, then we will get the infinite open loop gain. Actually, this is ideal case. I told you before only. Infinite input impedance means there is no current passing through the operational amplifier through the input terminal. Okay, so it has infinite input impedance. Likewise, zero output impedance means the output has no any other impedance. That means whatever load we are connected, that only acts as the output impedance. There is no output impedance in amplifier itself. Likewise, zero offset voltage. Offset means zero offset voltage or current means even you are not giving signal to the amplifier and there is some output you are getting, means that is offset. So if you have a operational amplifier that is ideal, it means if the input is zero, then output must be zero, either current or voltage or both. So the ideal operational amplifier must have this offset zero. Okay. Likewise, infinite bandwidth. Infinite bandwidth means there is difference of the lower cutoff frequency and upper cutoff frequency. So it has no upper and no lower cutoff. Means it starts from the zero hertz to infinite. So bandwidth is also infinite in this ideal operational amplifier. And last I wrote this infinite common mode rejection ratio. Means if we give the common mode signal to both of the input, then what will we get? We will get that there is the infinite CMRR common mode. These topics we will discuss in detail because that's a little bit we need some more information. So this is the introduction parts of our operational amplifier. Means operational amplifier you are learning, then these things you have to keep in the mind. What should be the characteristic of the ideal operational amplifier? Actually, in practical, the practical amplifier or this which we are getting in the lab, that do not have these all characteristics exactly like a ideal operational amplifier. But still it's very just like the infinite open gate, infinite open loop gain. Instead of that we are getting almost near about the 20 power 6. This is also very high of gain of the amplifier. Okay, and so this operational amplifier, and if we see the operational amplifier actual in the drawing, then we get like this triangle. It's always the symbol for amplifier, and there is there is two input and single output. So there is two input and one input is called the inverting input, and so we can tell this is the VI1 first input, and this is the V input 2, and only one output, and that's called the V out. Okay, one of them is the inverting input, another is the non-inverting input. What does it mean? That if we give any signal at VI1, that signal will be amplified or scaled according to our choice, and there will be out of phase. Means what does I mean? If you are giving the signal like this, then here we get the just like this. So this is called the inverting input. Likewise, here instead of giving input at VI1, if I give the input at this terminal, here we are getting in the same phase. Means this is going up, so here also goes up, and this part down, and so there also down. So amplified or scaled, but in same phase. So we get this terminal as the non-inverting input, and this is the inverting input. Okay, and so this symbol we will get for the operational amplifier. Likewise, in actually it is in the form of IC, and that IC looks like this, and you see like this one cut in one side of the IC, and this gives you, and suppose this is written like number 741. Maybe the this is universal IC, this is most common optional fire IC, but there are different number also. But this is a commonly we get in the lab, and it has 8 pins. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pin on the lower and 4 pin on the upper. Okay. And so pin number, how to know this? You keep the IC like this, so that it looks like 741, you can read properly. And this side you have this cut, little bit cut on notes. And from there we start the counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And here this is the, go take the U-turn, and there is the 5, 6, 7, 8. These 8 pin IC, and so the different pins have different functions. Here we are concerned with pin number 2, 3 and 6. Pin number 2, 3 and 6. 2 is inverting, this inverting input, 3 is non-inverting input, and 6 is our output. So 6 is our output terminal. And to give the power amplifier, we need the dual power supply. Dual power supply means we have to plus and minus supply. So one of the supply we will use the VCC, and here is the VEE, this is minus. We may think that's how to get this VCC and VEE minus power supply. That's a very simple idea. Actually this supply operates from 5 volt to 15 volt. So suppose we want to operate at 9 volt, then what we take, this is one battery, suppose this is a 9 volt battery, and this is a plus, this is the minus. Again take the another 9 volt battery. Okay, one of them is plus and other minus. Now what we do, we connect this one of the plus and other minus together, and this is taken as the ground. Okay, and this one terminal left, other this minus left. So minus connected to the VEE and plus connected to the VCC. So like this you can make the dual power supply, and this dual power supply, this terminal VCC connected here and VEE connected here, and this operational amplifier get the dual power supply. Even we can buy the dual power supply only, which is already made like this, and so, and even the power supply of your computer, power supply unit PSU, there also the minus 5 and plus 5 volt supply, which you can use to operate. Okay, so this was the introduction. And here what we do, this minus 4 we have to apply the VEE, and this 7 number we apply the VCC. So this is the basic things which we need to know about the operational amplifier. Okay, and so usually we used to write these all things, and so let me write first, and then again we discuss some more things. Okay, so for this I need a space. Actually I will write it again. Okay. Let me write a little bit. An operational amplifier. Amplifier is direct coupled amplifier used in analog electronics from early time of analog computer the name operational amplifier comes from the term operation of mathematical functions like differentiation, integration, addition, subtraction, etc. It has two input terminals known as inverting and non-inverting, inverting and non-inverting, terminal and single output terminal. The operational amplifier has variety of applications in electronics like AC and DC amplifier, application in electronics like AC and DC amplifier, wave shaping, signal conditioning, active filter circuit, etc. So many applications, and so we cannot go through all that. Okay, and so this the circuit symbol for operational amplifier is shown below. Okay, and so that circuit symbol, what do we have to, again I am making this, I already explained you. This is minus, this is plus, and this is the output Y, and that's why I write V out, and this is the two input, so Vi1 and this is Vi2. Okay, and I told you there is a power supply also used, this VCC plus VCC, and here is the minus D. Generally this BCC and DE are not shown. Okay, so this is the some introduction part which I wrote. Okay, and so characteristic, now I'll write the characteristic of ideal operational amplifier. So what are the characteristics of ideal operational amplifier? I explain you, and let's recap. And that's you can pause the video and you can copy it. Okay, and so let me write this. So that characteristic I told you, one of the characteristics I told you, ideal operational amplifier, ideal op amp has infinite open loop gain. Likewise, ideal op amp has infinite input impedance. Okay, and ideal op amp has zero output impedance. And fourth, ideal op amp has infinite bandwidth and op-amp has infinite slew rate. Slew rate, 6 number point. Ideal operational amplifier has infinite CMRR, common mode reaction ratio. Okay, and so these are the or offset I wrote. Okay, so 7 number, ideal op-amp has zero input offset, input and output offset. Okay, so let's log this stuff, and you can pause video anytime to copy this if you need. Now applications of op-amp. So where do we use this operational amplifier? I told you this is a variety of use, and almost every parts of analog electronics we use this operational amplifier. Some of them are I'm going to list here. For amplification of AC and DC signals. We can use optional amplifier as voltage and current sources. We can use optional amplifier as an active filter. Likewise, we can use optional amplifier for wave shaping. Can use this for performing mathematical operations for making precise rectifier. We can use optional amplifier for waves. I wrote that signal conditioning, etc. So these are the some of the uses I wrote here, and there are so many other long list, and so no need to copy all those, right? And so I just wrote it. Okay, so this was the introduction part which we discussed, and I wrote these all also for to make you note. Okay, and so to understand the operation of the operational amplifier, we have to start with the C amplifier. First we learn C amplifier, how it works. Then we have to learn the differential amplifier, and then we have to go to the main topic of operational amplifier. So if you have the concept of the C amplifier and differential amplifier, then it will be very easy for you to understand this topic. If you don't have, then be careful, and this is last time. Again, I am going to do a short recap, short revision, which we are learning from the +2 level. Okay, so to understand this, let me explain some idea of the C amplifier. So I will do in this in short brief recap, and so I think you will be understanding everything. Okay, and so C amplifier. C amplifier. We know this is C amplifier is common emitter amplifier. So I choose here 1 amp, that's transistor, and I am taking here the NPN transistor here. Okay, and so this I connect one of the, we know this is this collector, this is the emitter, and this is the base, this is basic, and this resistance is connected to the collector is called the RC, and there's, if I connect here in some resistance in the base, I call this as the RB, and for biasing I use a RE also, and this is connected to the, okay, negative supply, I write this BEE. Okay, and this is the simplest C amplifier. We apply input here and we take output here. Okay, how does it work? If it is properly biased, it's VCC. Properly biased means we know the biasing of the transistor. Base emitter region should be the forward bias, and base collector region should be the reverse bias. That's the proper operations, and that's separate thing. Okay, and I assume this is the properly biased, means I choose the value of VCC and BE so that this transistor in proper biasing condition. Then this transistor can work as the common emitter amplifier. So let's say if I apply the signal over this input terminal, apply signal, this I am taking the same signal, means I am connecting here some source to the input in the ground. Okay, so what will happen? How does it works? Okay, and so this is the base current. I suppose this base current, and this is the collector current. I write IC, and the emitter current IE. And this arrow of this emitter, so that direction of current flow. So we do not confuse, and we'll just like both collector and emitter base current both goes towards the emitter in this case. Okay, and so let's see how it works. Input signal first half up to here you are seeing this signal is going positive, means first increases become maximum and becomes decreases and become 0, and then it changes its direction. So what will happen inside? So I will use this symbol, this for increasing and this symbol for decreasing. Okay, so in first quarter what are you seeing? Quarter of the signal you are seeing B in is increasing. So I wrote increasing symbol, this up arrow. B in increase, then you can directly see that's input increases, then IB, base current IB also increases. Okay, IB increases. When IB increases, then we know that's IE also increases. That's beta times IB. Beta is near about 200. So beta 200 times IB means beta IB much increase, IB the bigger up arrow. Okay, and beta IB is your IE, and which is nearly equals to IC. Okay, and so this also increases. If IE increases, IC increases, then ICRC drop in this resistor, collector resistor, also increases. If this increases, then V out is our VCC minus ICRC. You can easily see that this term is increasing, means the result will decrease, because this is the constant. VCC is our constant, and this term goes on increasing, means the result is goes on decreasing. So what we get here? We got that if B in increases, B out decreases. It means decreases, not only decreases, much decreases. So there is amplification also, and this will be the out of phase. Okay, and so this type of the signal we are obtaining, means first quarter increasing, then first quarter this decreasing, next quarter this is decreasing, then it's increasing, and then third quarter is further decreasing, so it will increase, and last quarter what is this is increasing, and so this is the decreasing. In this way we can get the operation of the C amplifier. Okay, in reverse and conversely also we can tell that if it's decreasing, then B is decreasing, IB is decreasing, and then beta IB is much decreasing, and this is IE IE equals to nearly equals to IC, that also decreases, and then ICRC also decreases, and then V out increases. So positive half produce negative and negative half produce positive signal. Okay, and so in this way C amplifies, but phase will be out of phase, means input and output will have the 180 degree out of phase. So these things I need to make you understand the optional amplifier. Before that I have to do the some concept of the differential amplifier. So this was a little bit things which you have to keep in the mind to understand the differential amplifier. Okay, and so this is just to make you understand. So if you want to copy, then you can copy, otherwise okay. And so let me rub the finish, and I told you if you need then you will copy, but this is not needed, I think. Okay, next is we have to differential amplifier. Differential amplifier. So differential amplifier is actually two common emitter amplifier directly coupled. I told you in the introduction part. Okay, one of them transistor amplifier. Let me make this. Okay, and this is here, and this emitter I connect here, and so this. Okay, and another I have to make the copy of this. Actually, they are the 100% copy, perfectly matched transistor, means there should not be any difference. Both should be both should be similar in all respect. That's called a perfectly matched transistor. Both transistors which we have taken are the identical in all respect. Okay, and this is the two RC1 and this is RC2, and both of them are connected in the single supply, and I wrote the VCC. Okay, and so there is the one emitter resistance here and one here, and so I combine these two, and this wrote in the single, and this is minus BEE, and this I wrote the RA. This is combined for the the parallel combination of this emitter resistor, and this means this is equals to RE1 parallel to RE2. Okay, and so this amplifier also output V out 1, and there is V out 2. So this is one of the input VI1, and this another input. This is the V out, sorry, V in 2. Okay, and so this, oh, I forgot to add here one, because I told everything is same, copy it there. Okay, and so how does it work? If you understand this, how does it work, then it will be much easier for you to understand the optional amplifier. Okay, so first, suppose I am applying signal over input terminal VI1. Let's see what happens inside this. Okay, so I am supposing sensory signal this. So you have to keep in the mind this. You have to keep in the mind that what is the signal here? Emitter will get the same type of signal. Emitter is get same type of signal, means this is going up, then here also going up, this is going down, then this is going, means there will be copy only, and so here will be the signal exactly like that. Okay, and just now we learned that in the common emitter configuration, output will be there. If you don't consider this part, then output will be amplified. Output will be amplified, but out of phase. So this will be the like this. If we see here the collector of the first transistor Q1. Okay, and so this will be amplified, and you get this output. Okay, now how this, in this case I am supposing there is no signal, this is grounded. Okay, so I am applying in this. Actually this is called the single ended input. If I make the detailed video of the different amplifier, then I will discuss each and every point of this. But now we are just doing short recap so that it will better you to understand optional amplifier. Okay, and so this signal is applied here, and so what happens if you apply this signal here? Just opposite of this. Opposite of this means opposite of this, here will be the signal. Let me make this. This signal will be like this. Okay. So this, when you apply this signal, then due to this, this is grounded. Grounded means some voltage drop take place over here, and that signal gets reverse here. Okay. Means this part also, here also, if you check, then they will get like this signal. Okay. And so this signal appears here, and this is also one of the common inverter amplifier. So this transistor Q2 will invert this. If Q2 will invert this, then what type of signal will you get? This amplified, but opposite of this. So this will be the look like this. Now says we have applied input to single input, that's VI1, but we are getting the output at both terminals. That's the output at Vout1 and Vout2. So this is the single indent and double indent output. Double indent output. And you understand how this works. Okay. Likewise, if we apply the signal at input terminal 2, then also we will get the output at 1 also and 2 also. So both the types of, but what we have to notice here, keep in the mind, we notice one important things. Whatever let me draw this symbol for the differential amplifier. There is 2 input and 2 output, and so this is Vout1 and this Vout2 and this 2 input. This is the V in 1 and V in 2. Okay. So what I got, if I apply signal over here, I get this signal amplified but out of phase here, and we are getting the same amplified signal over output V2, but this is in phase in comparison to this. So in this case, what we get, signal is amplified but same phase with respect to VI1. Even VI2 is not applied, this is grounded. So one thing you have to keep in mind, one point. Second point is, if we apply the signal at VI2, then we will get just opposite of this case. In this case, I am not applying any signal at V input 1, but I am applying signal at V input 2. Okay. And so in this case, like this will get, if I again supposing this is the sensual signal like this, then in its own input output terminal, we are getting just opposite, means that is amplified but opposite. But in others, this is the others input output terminal, here we will get the in same phase, that is the like this. Okay. And so these two things we will use in optional amplifier frequently, and so you have to keep this also in mind. So friends, have you enjoyed this video? These were the topics which I wanted to make you clear for better understanding of the operational amplifier, and I hope you enjoyed today's video also. And so in next time we'll discuss the inverting and non-inverting amplifier. And so enjoy watching this video and make your concept clear. Thank you very much.